Okay, so I've been accused of not living off-grid and not being sustainable. Well, who on earth is going to manage moving to somewhere and becoming self-sustaining in under a year? It's not going to happen. It's not possible. You can't just move somewhere and be fully self-sustaining and not dependent on something that's outside of the system. Also, because I choose to use permaculture, it's not about jumping into somewhere and creating a vegetable garden and developing a kitchen garden and everything in the first year. My way of doing this is how I believe permaculture is truly, which is all about working with the planet. I'm not about jumping in there all big ego like, hey, look at me, I'm going to take control of this land and make it work with me. No, I've come to this space here and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, how can I work with you? How, Pachamama, Mother Earth, can I work with you for the highest good of all? I don't know where the sun is in summer. I can have an idea. I can use apps. I don't know what's growing here naturally all year round. No idea. Sure, I can identify some of the plants that are already growing here native. But I need to feel into the land and I need to really get to know it, and it needs to get to know me. So we start through my permaculture beliefs. We start with looking at the trees, looking at the natural plants that grow, and we look at establishing a relationship where I'm living in some form of balance with the environment that I'm in. And I've brought things in to this beautiful space. So I have got animals. Now the animals are coming in and they're helping create eggs and things like that. And they also help to reduce the pests on things that we do grow. They also help fertilise the ground. They're an amazing part of the community here. So far the community is me and these beautiful animals, you know. We've all got a part to play here. All our human manure and all our organic matter goes back into the earth, but we have to set up a human manure system. It's going to be at least 2.5 years before what we're putting into that system goes back into the land fully. Right now, all it's doing is processing. We are not attached to electric. We are not attached to a gas supply. We are not attached to a water supply. We have a well. We have 2 wells here that we use. And I haven't set it up so that I can use the water from the well. I haven't. And the reason for that is financial. I chose to put money into having solar power rather than setting up a pump system, and I also want to repair the well. The big well here is broken. Okay, so the stones are falling in. It needs repairing to be able to be used properly and to be able to store and hold more water without losing it. So it's really important to look at what's what and really make an assessment so that I can make the best call that's in the highest good for all that live here. I choose to go to a font rather than take the water out of the well because I haven't got the strength to throw a bucket in and pull it up for, well, If I throw it in there, I need to pull the bucket, a full bucket. I need to lift, like throw it in, get it full with water, which is hard even when it's water that's a few feet away. And then I've got to lift that bucket like 12 foot, sometimes a little bit more, and especially as the water's going down throughout the year. So it's not something that I'm capable of. So I choose to go and get the water somewhere else. So there isn't, we're not onto a main supply for electrical water. We have over 1,000 watts of electric brought through the solar panel, which we won't get anywhere near that in the hour. The panels are not at the perfect angle to get the optimum supply through the panels, but it's more than enough for me and my volunteers. No one's had a problem since putting the extra panels in. I'm trying to think what else is off-grid. I mean, off-grid doesn't mean sustainable. Sustainable means we create a system that will work and maintain itself, or maintain itself with help from us. And to create a sustainable system, it's a little bit at a time, feeling into what's right, working with the environment, working with everything in the environment. Like, there's so many things to take into account. It's not all about humans coming onto land and digging it up and making things happen. That's not permaculture. That's not creating a permanent form of agriculture. That's creating a big place that's going to destroy what's here. So I'm starting by doing, like, for instance, just behind me there, it's a no-dig garden. Or it will be a raised bed, a no-dig raised bed for growing things in, that when you put things in, they will just be self-sustaining. It will just sort itself out. It will maintain itself, you know, after the first few years. The first few years, say 3 to 5 years even, at a permaculture project, it's all about establishing and creating a system that will last much longer than that. You're aiming to be able to serve the next 7 generations. It's so much bigger than I am. It's so much bigger than we are. But to do that, you need to take time. You need to have patience. You need to watch. You need to look at all these things and really feel into what's right, you know. So I've had the rainy season. I've watched where the rain goes. I've watched how the rain sits on the land. I've been recording how the wind comes in, which bits are more sheltered, which aren't. I'm watching where the sun is. The sun in the sky, how it touches the trees and creates shadow, and where things move is so different now in spring compared to where it was when I arrived in autumn. And now we're in spring, you know. So spring, summer, autumn, winter, we need to see all the seasons. We need to see how the plants are grown. We want to see what's dead, what's alive, what can be, you know. How can I serve the trees to the best of my capability? How can we put in more trees to have more things that grow here based on what we've got, without creating too much hassle? Because let's face it, there's only me here. There's volunteers if they come, or if I'm able to have them, you know. Volunteers take time, they take money, they take a lot of energy, and when they've not sorted stuff out for themselves and taken responsibility for themselves, it's my place as a host to try and assist them to do what they need to do, and that takes more time and energy. So being a host isn't all about just sitting down and letting people do things. It's feeling into what feels right for the person. What does that person need? What do they want to learn? Having the conversations, you know, helping them get used to the animals get used to them, seeing how it is. We'll soon have our next set of volunteers, pair, couple, amazing beings who may or may not want to be on the videos, and they're coming to take care of the place while I'm away, and they're going to be friends with the animals, and they've already come with really good references and experience, and they've experienced in Portugal as well. So that's really helpful. That's really, really helpful. And the carers and the healers as well, as in the people who help people heal. So I'm really excited for that next step. And they're going to be sharing space with me and me with them. And it's going to be all about finding our way forward. But they've done off-grid before, and they lived in a van. Living in a van, you're almost off-grid because you haven't got the running water and the electric and stuff, but you have got your engine, so you can like generate your own electric. And van life's great because you still have to go and get your own water and things. Very similar to here. Sure, we can collect water when it rains. It isn't going to rain here properly like it does in autumn and winter until maybe autumn and winter now. So it would be crazy to put money into a water collection system to collect water that's not going to arrive yet. It really would. It's not it's nonsensical. Okay, Betty has just climbed onto the roof of the teepee and then got herself confused. Chickens. So yeah. So we're not sustainable here. That we're aiming for creating a sustainable place and a sustainable community. But it takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy, it takes resources, and it takes co-creation. So these things don't happen overnight. They certainly don't happen in the first however many months that I've been here now. What is it? I arrived the 6th of November, so 6th of December, January, February, March, April, May. So nearly 6 months. 6 months I've been here, and in 6 months we've got power. We know where to get water. We have a few trees growing, not many, and we're just getting used to the land. We've got a building to live in. We've got camping spaces. We've got a road been built. We've got amazing little houses for our animals. Everything's relatively practical here and accessible. We've got a beautiful wood shelter. We've got showers that are in the midst of being made. That's absolutely fucking amazing for 6 months in. So it will continue to grow and evolve at its own rate naturally, as things should do. And we will be going to continue reading the land and reading the trees and keeping a record of all what's going on here and the life here, and watching the different birds and just finding out so much more about here, you know. It's so important to feel into our truth and feel into the land and find a balance of how we work with that instead of coming on in with our ego. So to know more, follow us at Creative Roots Portugal, or watch the YouTube channel at Consciously Creating Change, where we really do hope to consciously create a change that's going to serve the highest good for at least 7 generations.